Hello and welcome back to another popcorn chat. I hope you guys are doing well. In this video I'm going to be speaking to you about Ari Aster's latest film, Beau is Afraid. Ari Aster is very much one of these directors who creates mind-bending films that, very much divide audiences. For example, I wasn't a massive fan of Midsummer, however I really loved Hereditary. So he seems to be quite divisive amongst a lot of film fans and continues to cause conversation with his films, and this one is no exception. So without spoiling this too much, we follow the character of Beau, who is going through a lot in his personal life. He is very much an anxiety-ridden character who is then given the news over the phone that his mother has passed away and he must travel home. And that kind of sets up the journey for the character of what's going to happen in the rest of the film. From getting from A to B, all of his anxieties, and there's many obstacles along his way to get to that place. It's a wild 3 hours. I went to watch this film a few weeks after it came out here in the UK, and obviously we got this later than the American release, as we normally do with a lot of these films. And luckily I hadn't seen any of the spoilers, so I went in very much blind. I hadn't seen the trailer either, so everything was going to be fresh to me. With a runtime with just over 3 hours, I'll be honest and say that it didn't feel that length. There are films that reach that sort of 3 hour mark where I can really feel the pacing. However, this one just flew by and I was constantly engaged throughout. Ari Aster has dipped his toe into various stories that lend themselves to different genres, be it horror, dark comedy, and this one, encapsulates a lot of that, but also bringing something new. I think this has to be one of his most cinematic pieces, literally from the visuals to the direction to the sound and the editing. I do think that Joaquin does a great performance in this, though I think it's not his best. I think he does exactly what Ari Aster needs him to do for the role. Upon reflection, this is a simple story. It's the character of Beau's anxiety that really intensifies these situations, but those moments really allow for other characters to give these great performances and add a sense of mystery and sort of, a noir essence to it. What is really going on as you're trying to sort of work out who can Beau trust and what's the sort of next step within his narrative. As I mentioned, Ari Aster very much dips his toe into different subgenres. I would say Midsummer definitely has some comical moments that maybe I'm not sure if you're meant to laugh at. I'm not too sure, but I definitely laughed a lot towards those end scenes. Hereditary itself was a lot more of a horror kind of dramatic piece that I didn't really laugh at. However, this one has those moments that are very much dark comedy, and things happen to Beau which are intentional for you to laugh. Yet, there's only a few of us that actually laughed in the cinema. There are people in there who are very much straight faces throughout. But I don't really think that's what Ari Aster intended. I think he wants you to laugh in these light-hearted moments at the misfortune of the character of Beau. With the topic at hand, I don't think this will be as rewatchable as his other films. It's very much a heavy topic, even though it's sprinkled with this sort of comedic element throughout and has those light-hearted scenes. Along with the runtime and the sort of themes, I think this could be quite heavy for a lot of viewers, so I can see why either some people aren't taken to it in the first watch, and I don't think this will really encourage people to re-watch it again, unless you want to break down certain elements, which I will definitely, looking at sort of other people's opinions afterwards, I want to re-watch it again, but I will have to be in the right mindset and be mentally there for 3 hours. Obviously I know what's going to happen now, but I think it's definitely a film that has its impact upon the first watch, like many of his films do. But I feel like I could go back and watch Hereditary again and again. Midsummer I've only seen once, but I think this is one of his films which seemed to be a similar theme within his filmography so far, that the impact is upon first watch, and sometimes you need that in cinema. The only other negative that I really have is the fact that I can never listen to Mariah Carey's Always Be My Baby the same way again. I mean, we had the film Always Be My Baby with Ali Wong and Randall Park, which was a great sort of rom-com and used that song in a really sort of lovely kind of reflective way. However, this one really changes the way in which you can use a song in a film. So yeah, thanks Ari Aster for ruining Mariah Carey for us all. From the first 20 minutes, I knew that I was going to love this film. I know many people have been very divided on this, but I'm in the party that very much liked this film, especially on first watch. Ari Aster continues to develop his own filmmaking through the use of beautiful cinematography, using talented actors with tangible stories, but also adding that element of noir and what the fuck's going on and sort of mystery that really makes for a film that is going to be a conversation starter, and we don't get many films like that in mainstream cinema. I know this had a very minimal run where I'm at. I think it really shows the significance that we need these films. You know, it's not going to get that Oscar nom, we know that. This isn't a film for your average cinema goer. I think this is much more for people who are into the bit more sort of quirky kind of cinema. I wouldn't recommend this to everyone, you know, some that might like the Fast and Furious films, to go and watch this one. I think this was a great depiction of anxiety and sort of grief and sort of, you know, trauma as a child, and I think it's really well collated in a chaotic and hilarious 3-hour runtime with Joaquin Phoenix running around naked a lot of the time. I really liked this film, so I'm going to give Beau is Afraid 4 stars out of 5. Thank you so much for watching this review of Beau is Afraid. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Are you in the party that loved it? Or maybe you hated it? I'd love to check out your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, so you can keep up to date with any latest releases. And I'll see you guys very soon for another popcorn chat.